How's it going, everybody? Bryan Alvarez here on Wrestling Observer Live. We are here every day, Monday through Friday, noon Pacific 3 Eastern, Sunday 3 Pacific 6 Eastern, Saturday mornings with Jim Valley, 10 Pacific 1 Eastern, and it is Monday here on the show. You know what that means? We got a lot to talk about. We actually didn't have any pay-per-views this weekend, but that all ends, of course, this coming Saturday, as NXT has got their deadline show. We'll talk about the lineup for the NXT show, which is coming up tomorrow here later on, but a lot to get into otherwise. There were shows this weekend. We had the AEW Collision show. We had the SmackDown show. This, of course, the follow-up to War Games. We had a bunch of tournament matches on the Collision show, including the Eddie Kingston-Bryan Danielson match, which was the best match of the tournament thus far. Danielson wrestling with one eye. So we can talk about that. We've got the lineup for the Dynamite on Wednesday and Collision coming up next week. And the Collision show is actually being taped tomorrow. And not looking good in terms of attendance, but we'll tell you about that. Also got Final Battle coming up on the 15th. And then a bunch of news from the last couple of days. We've got notes on the Raw TV negotiations. We've got AEW All-In ticket numbers. We got WWE doing some releases, which I presume Mike Sempervive talked about on Friday. They got rid of Mackenzie Mitchell. I don't like that. We'll tell you about that. Plus, yes, there is a Ronda Rousey update. It's exactly what I told you weeks ago that I was mocked and belittled for, and turns out it's exactly what I said it was. We got the Dynamite ratings from last Wednesday, more on Bryan Danielson and CM Punk, and, of course, the TV show reviews from this past week as well. SmackDown and Collision. So a lot to get into here today. If you want to text us, 425-780-7566. That is 425-780-7566. F4WOnline@gmail.com. Also F4W Online on Threads, Instagram, and yes, Cameo at Bryan Alvarez on X. Back in a moment, Observer Live.
Welcome back to Rent to Own Auto Arena. The next match on tonight's Portland wrestling card. Beautiful Bryan Alvarez versus Adam Firestorm. This match is being brought to you in part by 1-800-OWN-A-CAR.
Fans, just like we said, right back with another match. Adam Firestorm from Auckland, New Zealand versus beautiful, or so self-proclaimed beautiful, Bryan Alvarez. LC, this should be another great matchup.
Well, pardon me if I'm not completely into this matchup. Every time Miss Rent-to-Own Auto comes out, I can't help but stare at her two big, beautiful blue eyes, brother.
Well, I believe that that is what you're focused on for sure, LC. Miss Rent-to-Own Miss Rent-to-Own Auto, not happy with Bryan Alvarez 2 weeks ago when he was losing to the grappler. But last week, a victory over Ed Moretti, and all seemed happy with the lovely one.
Well, he's lovely, yes. He wants to be the pampered cow, but maybe he'll turn into spoiled milk, Jack.
We got Adam Firestorm from Auckland, New Zealand, been dying to come into Portland wrestling. Bryan Alvarez claiming that he pulled his hair. Obviously, he did not. Referee Mark Watson checking. He will have to keep a close look on the devious Bryan Alvarez. I would rather call it the beautiful one. There he is, whipped into the ropes. Off he comes. Shoulder tackle puts Adam Firestorm down. Back and forth action. Bryan Alvarez flying big hip toss by Adam Firestorm. Another one puts Bryan Alvarez down. Drop kick down on his back was Bryan Alvarez. He's going to dive outside. Take a moment. Miss Rent-to-Own Auto not looking very happy right there, LC.
No, she's not. And youth gone wild, brother. Adam Firestorm is banging people like he's in a mosh pit, brother.
Adam Firestorm going outside, going to chase Bryan Alvarez right back in. Adam Firestorm likes to control the action inside the ring. Oh, Bryan Alvarez catches Adam Firestorm coming in with a kick in the middle rope, putting him down. Now a boot to the face. Adam Firestorm maybe a little too energetic outside, LC, not taking enough care of himself.
That's right. He was all fired up, but that'll take the wind right out of his sails, and he need not worry about Miss Rent-to-Own Auto now after that shot in the gonads he just took.
And then a hard whip into the back. Small of the back really put Adam Firestorm down. Bryan Alvarez, now he's pulling his shirt over his head. Big chop across the chest. Adam Firestorm now, he's firing back. There's 1, 2. Now he's got Bryan Alvarez. He whips him into the corner hard. Adam Firestorm following up, catches a boot to the face.
Is here, Wrestling Observer Live. Mike Sempervive, also of WrestlingObserver.com. A lot to get into here today. I presume you talked about Mackenzie Mitchell being axed.
Well, yeah, it did bring it up. I didn't get into how upset I was over that decision, considering that she was
a likely story.
Backstage interviewer. Well, she's the best backstage interviewer they've had since Renee Paquette. I thought at least, so I'm surprised they're getting rid of her. I don't know if Kelly Kincaid is going to take that spot or not, but I guess that would only make sense.
I have no idea why they got rid of her. No idea whatsoever. I mean, they've had a lot of backstage interviewers that are absolutely useless. You could take any good-looking person and have them do the same job. That was not Mackenzie Mitchell. She was very good at her job. And she was married to Vic Joseph. And, one of the things, back in the day, they did all sorts of terrible things. Split up couples in the draft and all kind of things like that. They don't do that anymore. Things are much different now, but then they fired her. That was sad. Maybe there's more that we don't know, but I haven't heard anything.
I don't know. Javier Bernal, she had great interactions with. I thought those were classic. Tiffany Stratton and getting her over as this witch of a person. I thought her interactions with her were very good. So, yeah, I'm surprised. But then again, they do have a glut of backstage interviewers, both men and women.
So we got Raw tonight, and this is interesting because tonight's Raw is actually an aberration in the sense that they are in Albany, New York. And Albany, Mike, please. And they have sold 6,000. This is from WrestleTix, and I think this is as of this morning. 6,799 tickets. And what's interesting is the last time they were here, they sold 7,383. So WrestleTix, or maybe it was WrestleNomics. I think it's WrestleNomics. They just put up the market-to-market analysis for AEW and WWE, and not pretty for AEW. Market-to-market, way down over the last year or so. But WWE, market-to-market, is way up. And this would be one of the rare shows where they're actually down. And they're actually not even set up for as many people as were there last time. So anyway, it's weird that they're down slightly, but also because, they have not advertised CM Punk, but they did sell a bunch of tickets when CM Punk showed up on Raw last week for this show. So it looks like a lot of people bought tickets expecting CM Punk to be on Raw, but I don't think he's going to be on Raw. They've only announced him for SmackDown this week. But anyway, $67.99 is the number. We've got a lot of stuff happening on the show, including Seth Rollins, Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight title. I think we can all see where that one is going. Drew McIntyre is on the show. He's facing Sami Zayn. We have Best of 3, DIY versus Imperium. We have got Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. Katana Chance and Kaden Carter will be facing Tegan Nox and Natalya. And the Creeds will be facing, for some reason, which I cannot explain. Did I miss a show somewhere? The Creeds won a number 1 contenders match last week. Yet this week they face Dominic and JD, who are not the tag team champions. That I cannot explain.
Why not? And easy to explain.
Really, why?
Because nobody said just because they were number 1 contenders they were getting their match.
Actually, last week they did say they were getting the title match this week.
Did they say they were getting it this week? You got to have some sort of, distraction, some sort of hurdle thrown in there from the Judgment Day. This only makes sense, you got to be honest, on paper, so they can get to Damian and Finn.
Then we have the NXT show tomorrow. Ely and Baron face-to-face. Iron Survivor Challenge qualifiers. They're both last chance, so it's multi-person. Kiana, Roxanne, Fallon, and Thea are in one. And Carmelo, Eddie, Joe Coffey, and Tyler Bate are in the other. Then we've got Alpha Academy against Meta-4. Otis, Chad, and Maxine versus Noam Dar, Oro Mensah, and Lash Legend.
Love it.
We're getting Maxine and Lash Legend in the ring together. And then Andre Chase will address Chase U in a special assembly. Now, AEW. So, for reasons I can't explain, I'm sure there's a logistical reason for it. Collision is being taped Tuesday, and Dynamite is live on Wednesday. So they're actually taping the Saturday show before the Wednesday show. So they're both at the Bell Center, or the Center Bell, which I guess is the Bell Center. It says Center Bell here. Maybe it's a French thing. But anyway, they're both in Bell Center, Center Bell. And the Dynamite show has got 4,400 tickets out. It's set up for 58. They got 1,400 tickets left. And the Collision show on Tuesday, 2,300 tickets. And they got well over 3,000 tickets out. And, the thing with AEW in Canada, especially Collision, is you can't see Collision in Canada on television. You have to have a streaming service. So this show is not looking like it's going to be very well attended. I suppose they could sell 3,000 tickets in the next day, but I don't think that's going to happen. But the Dynamite show has got more tournament matches. We got a lot of them there. And I don't think I have the lineup here. Oh, here we go. We've got Jon Moxley versus Rush. Swerve versus Mark Briscoe, and Jay White versus Jay Lethal. And 2 title matches, Christian Cage versus Adam Copeland, and Tony Storm versus Sky Blue. So you can see they're trying to bump up the numbers in Canada with 2 title matches and 3 tournament matches. And then for Saturday, it is Bryan Danielson versus Andrade, and Eddie Kingston versus Claudio, and Kenny Omega versus Ethan Page to determine who's the best wrestler out of Canada. Yes. So that's the lineup for the next couple of days, and we will see how things go. But man, it is a French thing, I was told. It's the Bell Center. Yes. Yes. Those French like to say things backwards. That's what I've determined from this year. We got notes from the Observer on the TV rights negotiations. Dave Meltzer wrote that Tony Khan met with WBD in October. WBD. About Raw possibly going to TNT or TBS. And allegedly, they were turned down. So there have been a lot of rumors about where WWE is going. A lot of people have been asking. I don't know. Obviously, one of the front runners is believed to be FX. I've had a lot of people saying, FX? Yeah, FX. Yeah. The fact of the matter is, whoever's going to pay him $380 to $400 million is getting Raw. And it's going to end up being all right. They've got USA for SmackDown. NXT's on a network. It's not the end of the world if WWE goes to FX.
It's not like FX is like,
it's not like they got 32 million viewers. They got a fair number.
It was Fox's, number 1 cable channel until they had to spin it off, and now it's one of Disney's main standard cable channels. I don't see how that would be a negative at all. In fact, I think that would be the best case scenario. I think Amazon's probably going to offer the most money because they can, but right now, I would not think that they should fall off a linear service. Tom and I talked about this. Amazon, everybody's got it, and they use it for more than just video, so it would be one of the last things that you would probably cut. So churn-wise, it may not be that bad, but visibility-wise, unless you're the NFL, nothing is proven on Amazon yet. So to me, FX is still the right way to go. Plus, it's the Disney connection as well, too.
I do like this written here. WWE is hoping to receive $400 million per year for the rights to air Raw, but analysts believe the number will be closer to $387 million. That's a very specific number right there.
I know.
For Raw.
Well,
I guess we shall find out.
Is that 1.4? Is that the 1.3?
I'm trying to do math here. It'd be 1.2 billion.
I can't do it. No, 1.4 times the amount. Remember, that was the big talking point. That's what,
1.4 times the amount?
Yes.
What are you talking about?
The increase in rights fees. 1.5 times. 1.4
I see.
times.
No, it's not looking. No, 1.5. Let me think. Yeah, anyway, back in a moment. Observer Live.
Not signed, but we had a great conversation. It came about, of course, there was some unfinished business. They had that match, and I thought it would be great for our fans to settle it in the ring. And at the Wrestling Revolver show, they had the tag match, and to be honest, I'd spoken to them, and I thought it would be great to have a match and build some interest, and then have the story come back to Ring of Honor, where Athena is the Ring of Honor Women's World Champion. Billy Starks is her minion. There's a lot of interest in that. They have a great chemistry. For people who don't watch ROH every week, there's some really exciting things happening there. And Athena's reign as the Women's World Champion of ROH and Billy Starks as her minion, it's some really entertaining stuff. And I thought that it would be great to see that tag team against 2 of the horsewomen, 2 being Marina and Ronda Rousey. And Ronda was happy to come here, and she was great. The crowd was really excited to see her, and it was a great match. We'd love to have her back sometime. It was really fun being out here. She's a local. She lives nearby, and that really helped make it possible. So anytime it's convenient, we'd love to have her back because she was tremendous. It was a great match. Yeah, she was at AEW All In, and it was great having her as a part of the show. I have a ton of respect for Mercedes Moné. We'd love to have her anytime in AEW, and I think she's had great experience also with our partner New Japan Pro Wrestling, and so she would be a great addition to AEW anytime, and we'd always love to have her here. I have a ton of respect for her and have had great conversations with her, and I think the world of her.
It is at the very top. I don't know where it ranks, but it's we all know, it's not a secret that Jon Moxley is one of the best professional wrestlers in the world. He'll go down as one of the best professional wrestlers ever, and he is tough. His skull hurts when I punch it. There was a time where Jon Moxley, put the company on his shoulders, and he carried it through some tough times, and there is so much respect I have for Jon Moxley, and I knew that this mountain of Jon Moxley that I had to climb would be very, very, very difficult. And I feel very grateful that I had the opportunity to fight him again, and I also feel very, very grateful that I beat him, because it's something that I never thought possible. Especially this past month, I wrestled Claudio Castagnoli and pinned him. Like, it's crazy. I am wrestling top anywhere in the world wrestlers, and I'm pinning them.
Khan is hailing AEW All In as a huge success. He wrote on Friday they've already sold over $4 million worth of tickets for this show. WrestleTix reporting the initial number of tickets distributed for next year's event stands at 33,923. It is currently set up for 44,452. And, of course, they can add significantly more seats. We found out last year. Double. So that's the number thus far.
Whatever that final number is, though, make sure it's the final number, because when Ospreay gets this tattoo, you want it to be the right thing.
Hey, man, he got his tattoo.
Yeah.
81035.
Imagine what he's going to do if he wins the title.
Well, I don't know. I don't think he's going to beat 81035, so we just keep the old tattoo, be my guess. They say that it's like tattoo regret is 55%. 55% of people regret a tattoo after a year. 55%.
Yeah, but what's the percentage?
He regretted his after a week. And that turnstile count came in.
Percentage of those people who then just go get more tattoos, though.
But, Will, that is the actual number, 81035. Doesn't matter what the turnstile said. I didn't go through the turnstile. Dave didn't go through the turnstile. I know a lot of people didn't go through the turnstile. So,
yeah, well, you're bougie media, that's why.
81035. We've got more here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. You know what's funny?
What's that?
No one ever listens to me. I can't help but notice.
What in reference to this time?
Well, Ronda Rousey showed up for that Ring of Honor taping.
I remember that.
And what did I say? I said it's a one-time deal.
Yeah.
She is doing a favor for her friend.
Yes.
And she is not going to be facing Athena in the main event of Final Battle.
No.
Blah, 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 blah. I had to hear about it, like, ad nauseum. Well, we already have the main event of Final Battle. It does not involve Ronda Rousey. And Ronda Rousey, in an interview with TMZ Sports, said she didn't think we would see her in Ring of Honor anytime soon. I don't think so, she said. Trying to be home with the family, be a full-time mom. And that's it. So, you're welcome, everybody.
Why did anyone think she was going to be? In fact, you think you were not the only one to say that.
Because they thought that she showed up and that she was going to have a Final Battle main event, and next step would be AEW. And
No. She did a show at Revolver, and then she did a show, again, to work out that match in ROH, but it started with Revolver. And she's got a book coming out, and she's still got ties to WWE. And it was what it was. And I don't think you're ever going to see her again in AEW, to be really honest with you. In fact, I would figure you're going to see her back for something in WWE first.
See, the thing is that, Ronda Rousey, I don't think she cares at all about women's wrestling. I think that she has friends. And it's funny on the board, like, people cannot figure out, why would you do something for a friend? Why would you do a favor for somebody that you like?
Didn't they just have a whole storyline about this in AEW?
Well, she has friends. She wanted to do a favor for her friend, and that's it. She's not like a big wrestling fan. She doesn't want to do pro wrestling. She doesn't want to represent women's pro wrestling. She wants to be a mom. That's it. But she has friends, and you know what? I'm sure at some point down the road, maybe another one of her friends might want a favor in wrestling, and she'll come back and help him out. But that's the story. So there you go.
Her name means a lot if, it's alongside her friend. No offense to Roderick Strong, but Ronda Rousey making an appearance with Marina Shafir is going to do a lot more for Marina Shafir, period. So that's why it's done.
Dynamite Wednesday, 858,000 viewers, up 1.5% from last week. Largest total audience since October 18, which was the last Wednesday before Dynamite started going head-to-head with the NBA. 0.29 and 18-49, up 11.5% from the previous week. The overall audience still down year over year, but Dynamite averaged 832,000 for the month of November and a 0.28 in 18-49. Last year they were averaging 881 and 0.29. So really, if you look at like the decline of homes with cable and etc., they're basically doing largely exactly the same as they were a year ago. WWE is significantly up from where they were a year ago. Although, maybe not against some of these football games. But anyway, that's the Dynamite numbers. Good numbers for this past week. And we have not seen the Collision and Rampage numbers yet, to the best of my knowledge. We'll talk about those tomorrow.
That's because they haven't come out yet. Dom, you could have just re-racked Friday's show if we were just going to do all the hits that Tom and I took care of on Friday, like talking about.
Well, listen, I don't know what you talked about. I was busy. I was busy helping kindergartners paint. Bryan Danielson is grateful for CM Punk's time in AEW. Talk about this one? On the Maggie and Perloff show? Huh? No? Well, I'll be happy to talk about it. They asked him about the disciplinary committee. And he says, I'm part of the disciplinary committee. Clearly what's happened has happened. I don't know.
Absolutely.
Maybe he did better than me. Maybe he didn't. He said, I like CM Punk. I thought he brought a lot to AEW. There's not a lot I can say about it or that I really want to say about it, but I am part about it. He denied reports that he headed the committee, saying that most of the people involved in the decision to fire Punk were lawyers. Well, how about the guy that runs the place?
Yeah, well...
Doesn't he make the final call?
Oh, man. There's something about this. Look, because people have asked, when I've said I got a little bit of an issue with this, there needs to be a voice. You need to have a union or representation for your wrestlers. I think they need to have a voice when it comes to some disciplinary things. You don't want to have Tony Khan do everything he shouldn't have to. But this was a decision that, even if you took counsel, as he should, with others to talk about the situation, especially when it comes to lawyers, that there didn't need to be a leakage of this story. And I think the leak actually hurt in a way because the only person that needs... This is actually a time where you say, we only need one voice. We need Tony Khan to say, no, I fired him. That's it, point blank. He can't control who leaked this, and having it ended up coming out the way that it did, but it puts it on Bryan Danielson. It just takes it off of, frankly, Tony Khan just going, no, CM Punk was fired because I fired his ass, and that's kind of what it is. But with that said, I think the people, because again, too, things are getting mixed up where bad faith people take that and go, well, Bryan Danielson had something to do with it, or, which I guess he did, yeah, but making him out to be the enemy or passing the buck on him, giving that image. That's the only issue I had with it. And again, the timing of it was, it was what it was.
Here, there's two things to this, okay? Was this Bryan Danielson's fault that CM Punk is not in? Of course not, okay?
No.
Now, the thing to the story that is important is not Bryan Danielson, okay? Because, yes, Bryan Danielson was one of the people that was like, this guy's got to go, okay? But he was not the only one that was stating that he needed to go, okay? And the key to the story is Tony did not want to let CM Punk go. He did not want to fire CM Punk. This is abundantly clear that that's the story here. And yes, Danielson was one of the people.
But
the idea that he was, and forget the lawyers and everything else, I'm talking wrestlers. There were multiple people who told Tony, this guy has got to go, and Tony did not want to fire him. So at the end of the day, if you want to say it was Danielson, which he will say, I'm not the head of this committee. He did say there was a committee. But, I mean, he was one of the people
want to fire him.
that said this guy has got to go.
He later said he was scared of his life. The guy that fist fought the other executive vice presidents in front of the head of legal. Like, this is where, again, now it's like you needed one voice to go, no, the buck stops with me on this one because I can't have chaos. But now it makes it even worse because – again, it just makes it worse. In my opinion, optically with that, he didn't want to fire him. Well, I mean, that says a lot, doesn't it? It's crazy.
Sukiban has revealed the broadcast details for its second event. The second event is this coming Wednesday in Miami, and it will stream live for free on CEO Gaming's Twitch channel and the Sukiban TikTok account. It is taking place Lot 11 Skate Park, 10 a.m. Eastern. And Saray is making her debut on the show.
No amulet.
So we don't know that.
Portal.
We don't know that. What do you mean? The show hasn't even aired yet.
Well,
she could very easily come through a portal with an amulet.
I don't know. Well, it is anime style over there.
CEO Gaming partnered with New Japan for When Worlds Collide in 2018, and with AEW for the first ever Fighter Fest in 2019. And Kenny Omega worked with CEO Gaming to make those New Japan and AEW shows happen. So if you want to watch the second show, it is free. The CEO Gaming Twitch channel and the Sukiban TikTok account. So it's coming Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern. That's a late show.
Yeah, and I know it's got that art house feel and everything, and I get wanting to be different. But TikTok and Twitch as your only outlets, I think, is very limiting. And obviously you want to push people to those things. I can see that. But to not have it on a YouTube channel as well, and not have it in other ways, I don't know. It's an interesting decision to go do it in that fashion. It really is.
All right, we're going to head to a break, everybody. When we come back, we got Collision to talk about, SmackDown to talk about, plenty more. Back in a moment, Wrestling Observer Live.
Those are two people I really value a lot. Those are two people I wish would stay here in AEW forever. With Sting, that's a great question. We talked about it, and I had said, Sting, I would like for you to stay as long as possible here, and we really value you. And he said, it's not really years at this point, it's more like months. And that was hard to hear, but it made sense. And I would have loved to have stretched it out as long as possible, but I pointed out that he had debuted at Revolution 21, and that maybe 3 years would be a fitting conclusion to this whole thing. And he's amassed this great record, and going in tonight they were 23-0, and to have Sting going for 3 years to be chasing that final great moment and to have this great send-off, I thought that was really cool, and he liked that a lot. So when I said that, he really took to that idea, and we went from there. So at that point we started talking about Revolution, and when he went out and addressed the crowd in Houston and said that it's going to be my last year and that Revolution is the end, that was after we talked about it and kind of come up with, based on how he was feeling, that felt, because he's feeling good. I think he wants to go out on top, and I think that's what we all want. So I'm glad he came to me and told me that. And then about Bryan Danielson, it's funny because that was different. It's also 3 years, but it was 3 years by design, because Bryan also arrived and Bryan also made his debut in 2021. Sting made his first appearance in 2020, but he had his first wrestling match at Revolution 2021. Bryan made his first appearance here at All Out 21. And when Bryan came in, we had made an agreement that he was going to wrestle for 3 years, and then he was going to go home and be a dad. And it was like one of those deals that sounds really good, but it's like you're watching the sand in the hourglass now. And for me personally, as I look at it, we're getting closer and closer to the end of that 3-year deal, and it's getting harder and harder for me to think about the end.
Cannot believe it's Monday and these people are still talking about this stupid Dynamite overrun. And still coming up with solutions for how I can make it work solely for myself. You know what this is? It's people that don't have friends. That's what this is.
Well,
people probably asking a question, why would Ronda do a favor for a friend? You know?
Well,
why try to solve this problem for everybody with YouTube TV? Just, get a VPN. Then you can't skip through commercials either. That'll really make your day. Anything else?
Well, you'll find out later on when you do the show with Filthy Tom Lawler, because I'm sure, you'll find out what he said on Friday, which is calling you out for not doing your job.
Oh, tell him. I'm going to kill that guy.
No, you tell him.
You hear me? I'll kill him. I'll choke him unconscious. He's an idiot. Let me guess. He doesn't have YouTube TV.
Of course not.
Oh, of course not. Oh,
No.
yeah. Anyone else?
No.
Okay.
I'm on your side here. I got it too.
Well, let's talk about these two shows. I'd much rather talk about that.
Rampage?
We've got Collision had 3 good to great tournament matches. We had Brody beating Claudio with a lariat, using the cast, which I'm trying to figure out if he's actually still got a broken hand after 3 solid months, or if this is now, Bob Orton Jr.
Well,
But he hit him with that cast, allegedly, and got the pin. So he now has 6 points. He's in the lead in that block.
and apparently Continental Classic rules override House of Black rules, because I thought there were no rope breaks in the House of Black because...
this is different rules, dude.
Style.
Don't get me started on these different rules. These wacky rules. That John Moxley promo from YouTube aired, by the grace of God. It was incredible. Mm-hmm. And apparently there's another incredible one after Eddie Kingston lost to Danielson, which hopefully they'll air that one on Wednesday. Then we had Kiera Hogan and Abaddon. This thing, it's just like, this women's division is just hilarious. So Abaddon, we never ever see her. And then she showed up on Halloween and just won a number 1 contenders match, got a title match, lost. Well, now she randomly returns, faces Kiera Hogan, beats her in 4 minutes, and now she's getting another championship match. She returns like twice a year to get championship matches, which she then loses.
You look at her. You going to tell her no?
Yes, I will. Because I'm not scared of someone with face paint on. I'm a grown man. Then we had Samoa Joe and Roddy. There's Roderick Strong. It's a lot of ha-ha, but I do laugh. I do go ha-ha. Daniel Garcia and Andrade in a tournament match. Garcia's lost yet again. He's beaten by Andrade. And they got 11 minutes. Good match. Hammerlock DDT finish. And Andrade, 3 more points in the tournament. Daniel Garcia can't catch a win, as they say in sports. We had a Willie Mack promo, which I can only describe as like it was...
Mactacular.
It was. It was not good, but it was amazing and awesome at the same time. He wants Wardlow, so that's coming up here soon. Wardlow's got a big lunch to eat, he notes. Then we have Roddy and the Kingdom coming out, and it was the Kingdom versus the Iron Savages, and it was good while it lasted. Stuffed pile driver finish, and yesterday I was listening back, and Craig said that these Kingdom and the Roderick Strong, they're terrible people because they preach neck health, but then their finish is a stuffed pile driver. And he said that was just terrible to do that. But see, I was thinking about it, and he's wrong. This is a neck health advertisement. Yes. You need to work on your neck because you never know when you might eat a spike pile driver. It is a public service message, this finisher. They are good people, not bad people.
Where do you stand on neck bridges, Brian?
Not good for your neck. Better ways to strengthen it. Lexi is with Ethan Page, and he has challenged Kenny Omega to prove who the best Canadian wrestler is. And actually, Dave made a good point on the show. These guys never say when. They just make these challenges. And then later they tell us what of the 85 shows it's actually on. So this one is on Collision next Saturday, which is taped Tuesday. Okay?
I bet you I know why they don't tell you, because they don't know.
Of course they know. He's got it all. Because by the end of the show, they get graphics up there.
Frankly, this all leads back to the DVR thing. Playing your stuff better, guys.
And then Kenny Omega's response on Twitter was, a singles match? We had
in this economy?
Malachi and Buddy versus Daniels and Matt Sydal. Love this match. Daniels and Sydal were a great team. Malachi and Buddy gave them a ton. Not bloody, Buddy. And got 7 minutes. Malachi hit the kick on Daniels and pinned him. Excellent match. Post-match, I just cannot for the life of me figure out what's happening.
Now, that must have happened during an overrun that none of us saw.
Yeah, I think this was, I think they've had like 6 weeks of overruns, and I missed all of them. So FTR comes out, and Malachi says, I should just break this down moment by moment. So the House of Black is in the ring. The lights go out. And when they come back on, FTR is coming out. So apparently FTR controls the lights now, not House of Black. So Malachi looks at him and he goes, looks to me like you guys are joining the House of Black. I said, how do you get that? What are you talking about? What do you mean they're joining the House of Black? Why? So the fans chant House of Black. Malachi then says, the only people in this locker room that have ever been here for the both of you are the House of Black. I thought, I have seen FTR team with all sorts of different people, and not once ever have I seen them team with House of Black. Not once ever have I seen a storyline where the House of Black has FTR's back. Not once ever.
Ever.
Are we talking like in real life they're friends in the back? Because as a fan of the show, I've never seen this ever.
Ever.
So Dax goes to pick up the mic, which Malachi dropped, and then they just kill him. They beat him up. They say, hey, look, no one's coming to help you, which is true. And I don't know where Adam Copeland was. I thought he was their friend, but he didn't care. And they left them for dead. So this was an alternate universe storyline. It's like, Tony has one computer where he does his actual stuff, and he's got another computer where he does his fantasy booking when he was at like 8 or whatever. And that storyline was on that other computer. But he forgot and typed it into this one. Something! I don't know what it was. Then we have Tony Storm. She's offering Sky Blue the first title shot. And then we had Kip Sabian and Vikingo. This was a standby match. And Vikingo beat him. Vikingo looked awesome. It was a fun 8-minute match. Keith Lee challenges Shane Taylor for final battle. Or other way around, Shane Taylor challenges him. Keith accepts, so that's on. Then, God help me, we had Miro and CJ. Here's another one. Miro wants to get into Andrade's locker room. They've been building up this Miro-Andrade match. And then CJ says, no. She explains, you picked your God. Now I have to prove myself. By winning this tournament, I will start to be on this path, and it's going to help me, okay? So if you have to go in there, go in there. But if you have any love for me, just let me do this and find my own way. So apparently, Miro here is promised that he will not lay a hand on Andrade. So we're not getting that match imminently. Or he's a liar. A dirty liar.
Oh my God! When can Miro and Andrade have their loser leaves and goes back to WWE match, which ends in a draw, and they both go?
I don't know, but you know what? The storyline is working its way slowly to being so bad it's good. It's not there yet. But like soon, I'm going to be able to not wait to find out what horrible thing is going to happen next with this CJ and Miro storyline. And then the main event was the best match of the tournament. Bryan Danielson, Eddie Kingston tournament match. Danielson's got he's got an eye patch so big that it keeps falling into the other eye, and he's trying to wrestle. And they tries to get it out of his eye, but then this one comes up, and I'm like, oh my God. Can't you get him like a titanium face mask like Undertaker had or something, this poor guy?
Thing around there
and they're having a Muay Thai match early in a grappling battle.
Which
and
that makes sense.
Eddie's throwing these forearms right by his eye. I'm like, this guy's got to make 4 more matches, dude, to get to Okada. And I don't know, man. I don't know. But anyway, he won with the knee. 17 minutes. They teased the draw, did not deliver. Match was absolutely awesome. But this guy's going to kill himself wrestling with one eye. It's just... I wrestled, everybody. I wrestled. You can't wrestle with an eye. I mean, you can, but, like, you're not supposed to.
No.
Especially hard matches like this. So anyway...
Why did they have to have the Continental Classic now? Why does he have to have
I don't know why they couldn't wait until, like, February.
Yeah.
Or March.
I don't know.
Or April. May.
Yeah, February and March. What? Fantastic Comedian
June's great.
Going on?
You know?
I don't know.
July. Hot summer.
Well.
Anyway. SmackDown. So we only have a couple minutes here. So the big thing is I'll talk more about this with Filthy. But there's a couple stories on this show. The one story is that they are going to be doing this tournament to get a U.S. title shot against Logan Paul. And it will be... Who do they have in this tournament?
Kevin Owens.
Well, Kevin Owens, obviously, because they're teasing he's going to be the winner, but I'm not sure. Santos, Dragon Lee, Karrion Kross, an NXT superstar, unnamed, Lashley, Grayson, Austin Theory, and Kevin Owens. And so Kevin Owens and Logan Paul had a long segment in stare down. So looks like whether Kevin wins a tournament or not, they're going to be doing Kevin Owens and Logan Paul at some point here, feuding for that title. So they did that. Bayley is on her way out, brother. Put that countdown clock on. She's about to be booted out of Damage Control.
They're Control-Alt-Deleting Bayley.
Yes, they're going to Control-Alt-Delete her in a horrible beatdown, and then she will go babyface, and then inevitably, I'm sure Mercedes will be coming in. Well, I guess we can just call Sasha Banks again. Because,
yes.
She'll be presumably
Maybe she'll be
coming in
Sasha Monet.
And then the big thing at the end was Randy Orton showed up. My God, the people went nuts for this guy. And the story was, who he's going to sign with, SmackDown or Raw? And so they got both of the GMs there. And Paul Heyman comes out. And long story short, Randy Orton is chosen to sign with SmackDown because the Royal Rumble looks to be Roman Reigns versus Randy Orton for the title. So Adam Pearce was very sad about that. And all I could think when the show was over was, well, is Punk a free agent? Is he going to choose what side he wants to go to?
Yeah.
He's on SmackDown this week. He was on Raw Monday. I mean, at some point, I guess he's got to pick, right?
Yeah,
or maybe they'll just not do a storyline there. But anyway, Randy Orton's going to SmackDown, and he'll be facing Roman Reigns, so we got that.
Maybe Seth will demand that he's on Raw so he can take him out.
Well, it seems pretty clear to me that Punk and Seth Rollins is also a match for the Royal Rumble. Back in a moment with more, everybody. Observer Live.
Denise Salcedo, Instinct Culture. Will, congratulations. I want to start off by asking you what the decision-making process was like for you in choosing AEW and becoming All Elite.
I've built up like a trust and a rapport with Tony. I feel I'm at my best over here, and I've enjoyed every time I've come over here, and right now this is just the best decision for me and my family. I'm not interrupting my kids' school, like my missus can see her parents, I get to be one of the best pro wrestlers that have ever done it, and I get to do it now on weekly TV, and I get to really test myself in these waters. I'm here for a reason, man. I'm here to go straight to the top. And I want MJF. I want that responsibility of being in the ring with him and testing myself, because for all this time, man, I've been on this side of the fence. And I've seen, do you know what? We'd always say, when we watch him come out, it was oh, he's not ready for the main event. I went, no, I'll watch. And he did it. No, he's not a good champion enough. I went, no, I'll watch. And he did it. I keep saying it, man. I love watching MJF. I like the idea, but I want to see when he says his catchphrase. I want him to look me in the eye, bruv. Are you a fucking liar? I think you are, mate.
Hey Chris, Denise Salcedo. I have a two-part question here. The first one is, we were just talking about Will Ospreay and the match that you had with him at All In. I wanted to get your thoughts on Will Ospreay becoming All Elite. And then the second part to that question is, there's been a lot of big things that have happened for AEW in 2023. And of course, given your history with the company, I wanted to get your thoughts on just what AEW has been able to accomplish this year.
First of all, I'm really glad that Will signed with us. I was kind of hoping that he was going to. We've been talking about it for a while. I talked to Will on the phone about it maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago maybe. I think the Wembley match we had was one of my favorites of the year. I think it was one of the best matches on the show, if not the best match. And that's what Will does. I think this is one of the greatest career years for any professional wrestler ever. The thing I like about Will that he's just tapping into, that we kind of got into before our match, is his character. He's got a character that's very believable. And I think that's something he's really going to get to focus on here in AEW that you don't really get a chance to in New Japan because of the communication gap. So I think this is the right place for him. I think we know what to do with Will Ospreay. I think there's a lot of huge matches he can have here, and to do the style that he wants to do for as long as he can do it. To me, he's one of the most valuable players in the world, and one of the biggest gets that AEW could acquire. So I'm really excited about that.
Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Mike Sempervive, also of WrestlingObserver.com. So apparently in an hour I got to talk to Tom.
Mm-hmm.
I may skip that show. We'll see.
You want me to do it?
Actually, I'd love for you to do it, but I'm going to do it. And then we got more Wrestling Observer Radio tonight. I was up last night with Dave. Had a lot to talk about yesterday. I also got to do some mailbag. You can always send questions to mailbag at WrestlingObserver.com. And, yeah, Raw tonight. It'll be very interesting to see what they do, because the show went off the air with CM Punk's promo. And it's just odd that he's not there this week. You're going to go off the air with CM Punk's promo, and then you come back to Raw the next week, and you're like, well, he was here, but he's going to be on the other show next Friday. I guess we shall find out. But that's coming up tonight. As noted, the NXT show tomorrow, setting up the Deadline show. Are you ready for Deadline on Saturday, Mike?
No, is it Saturday?
Yes, it's Saturday.
Oh, man. All right.
Why is that bad?
Actually, it's really not, because I think only Army-Navy is on Saturday, so you know what?
The question is there a UFC pay-per-view Saturday?
Oh, I don't care about that.
All right, fine. Let's see. What's the next
Do you
pay-per-view?
really? I mean, honestly.
No, I don't, but I'm trying to find out who it is.
Oh.
UFC, is it 296? Is that coming up?
Aren't we up to, if that was more than that, maybe it is.
December 2nd, let's see. Nope, it's a fight night. UFC 296 is December 16th.
Yeah,
And I'll be out of
Covington.
here. I ain't around for that one.
Oh, you're not watching Colby Covington?
And Leon Edwards? Missing that one, sorry. Maybe the next one after that. Hey, we're out of time. We got a lot to get into today. A lot to come. I want to thank all my Twitch homies, YouTube subscribers, friends and family, Mike Sempervive, all the great people at Sports Byline USA, our main man Dom, Big Dom we like to call him,
Big D.
Dirty Dom. See you next time, Wrestling Observer Live.